I know some of you don't watch this stuff. I know some of you pop your phone up in the corner on the table or whatever and just listen to my absolute nonsense without watching the screen. But you've got to watch this. Just this bit. I'm going to take 30 seconds of your time here. I'm going to talk about David Moyes later on, right? Well, not later on. I'm going to talk about David Moyes very, very soon, right? But I have to share this clip with you, which I found on Twitter, on X. And this is from an account called West Ham Transfers. Big account, excellent account. Go and give it a follow, right? But it's a video of Declan Rice. Sorry, I'm laughing. Naughty, bad. It's a little bit mocking of me. It has to be said, but... the title he's put on his tweet is, "The East Londoners finally left him," meaning Declan Rice. What have they done to him? Talking about Arsenal. You're now going to see a clip of Declan Rice walking around, walking around the Emirates Stadium. I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to move to the side so I create a little bit of space for the... Look, what's he wearing? I don't know what he's doing. And look at how everyone's just sort of filming him. Look, they're like zombies. Absolute zombies. Is that Batman in the front? I think that might be Batman in the front row. Anyway, I don't know what's going on. He looks like a humbug. A mint humbug. Sweet. That's what he looks like. Now, I do understand that as a man... I'm sorry. I'm not... I do understand... A man sat here in an unironed pink T-shirt has got no business to talk about class and style, but that is brilliant. I don't. It's like a handkerchief or something. Maybe it's not a handkerchief. Maybe you go back. It's like almost like he's got a loo roll. It's like the loo roll's sort of unravelled and fallen out of his pocket. What's he been doing? What have you been doing, Deck, with that bloody loo roll? Anyway, thank you, West Ham Transfers. That gave me a very, very big laugh not just this morning. The laugh carries on now. I'm not going to laugh. I'm not laughing anymore. We're going to move from the laughing bit to the serious section of the video, if you're ready. Okay. Now, the reason this still gets my goat, right? The reason that the David Moyes situation still bothers me is because as West Ham fans, or West Ham as a club as a whole, we were told off. We had our bum smacked. We were put on the naughty step for disrespect, classless behaviour towards David Moyes. I'm not going to sit here and tell a bunch of West Ham fans on YouTube what happened with David Moyes. You know what happened with David Moyes. But people lost their minds. The media lost their minds at this disrespect that West Ham would dare to start looking at other managers whilst David Moyes was still in his job. Never mind that Moyes himself has admitted that actually he got offered a contract as a head coach and turned it down. David Moyes had turned down his contract. He's admitted that now. It was still disrespectful. West Ham, the club, the fans were disrespecting him. What did Richard Keys called Tim Stuyton? A sneaky weasel. Wouldn't trust him. Wouldn't want him with you in the trenches or so. I don't know if there was going to be some conflict or something. But anyway, Richard Keys didn't want Stuyton with him in the trenches. Sam Allardyce, he did that podcast, the Tippy Tappy podcast. I said, "Oh no, David." You mean David Sullivan? No, David. Oh no, not again. Stuart Pearce waded in. Alan Brazil, Alan Shearer, lots of Allans. Not Alan Wan-Bissaka, but anyway, lots of Allans, right? And just utter disrespect. How dare you? So with that in mind, bearing in mind we had our bottoms smacked. I don't know why I had to do the demonstration of what a smack was, but bearing in mind we had our bottoms smacked and we've been on a naughty step. I did find it incredible yesterday, flicking through Twitter, X, and I saw this advert for a podcast. Now, I'm going to try and get it right. I think they have a podcast called The Royal Blue Podcast. It's an Everton podcast. Nothing wrong with that. By the way, I've got no problem with Everton fans wanting Sean Dyche to leave. I'd never tell any fan base that they shouldn't want a manager or whatever. I'm just talking about the lack of consistency in David Moyes' behaviour and how he expected us to behave towards him and how his cronies and the Be Careful What You Wish For brigade expected us to act towards him. right? And it announced, we're delighted to announce that David Moyes will be joining us on the Royal Blue podcast. Oh, right, okay. David Moyes is going to appear on an Everton podcast when Sean Dyche is in a job. The Everton job, not just a job. I don't mean like he works at Greg's. But the point is that David Moyes is going to appear on an Everton podcast when Everton have a manager. So I think that the podcast was called the Royal Blue Podcast. But there was like a little subtitle. So that was the name of the podcast, the title of this episode, where David Moyes is going to be sat in front of the microphone, right? As you can see a picture of him sat in front of the microphone. So I guess they've already recorded it. So something like Goodison Park, my home. I thought, oh, he's having a wind-up. He's having a wind-up. Goodison Park, my home. Whoa, come on. Come on now. Now, I think, look, there's no rules, right? There's no rules about looking for a new job. There's no rules about searching for your successor when someone else is in a job, particularly if someone's contract has 6 months left to run. There's no rules that say you can't hire their successor. So we're not talking about rules here. West Ham fans didn't have our bottom smacked because of rules. West Ham fans had our bottom smacked because, do you know what? It was etiquette. That wasn't the decent thing to do. And it does make you wonder what the bloody hell's going on here. But anyway, I'm going to stop pointing for a second. I'm actually going to point you in a direction of today's video sponsor, which is Surfshark. Now, Surfshark's a VPN. Brilliant. You really do need a VPN. I've just been searching and discovering more about my Surfshark account. I've just actually cancelled my antivirus software on my computer because I didn't realise for the subscription that I already pay, I get antivirus with Surfshark, so it's already started to save me money. VPN is something you're going to need for your cyber security, and that all sounds really fanciful, doesn't it? I mean, they're all fancy words, they're flash words, and you think, what does this mean for me? Well, in the days when you do your banking online, you really need some protection, and a VPN offers you precisely that. It's not just antivirus. Basically, it scrambles your location, it scrambles what you're doing. Not just on your laptop, not just on your computer, but on your phone, on all your devices. It's absolutely critical that I think everybody has cyber security in this day and age, bearing in mind all the sort of stuff that we do online. Put it this way. If someone hacks your phone, if someone can get into it, someone can get into your bank account, someone can get your bank details, someone can get your PIN number, someone can get your password, someone can get all your stuff. You want to protect yourself? Then you're going to need a VPN. Best thing is we've got a deal for you at Hammers Chat. Got the first 4 months free. I have been using Surfshark for 3 years. And I use it on everything. I use it on this. I use it on my Fire Stick. I use it on my phone. I use it on my laptop. I use it on my computer. I use it on absolutely everything. We've got a free 30-day money-back guarantee, which is harder to say than it should be. So if you don't like it, then you can get rid of it. The link's in the description below. Please click that. I know you come from Hammers Chat, and then hopefully they might continue their sponsorship of the channel, which is really, really good for us. It's good for you because you get a discount on it. And you'll need a discount code, Hammers Chat, all one word. Hammers Chat, all one word. Use the link below, though. That's all you're going to need. Go and check it out. If you don't like it, you can just not use it. But I'll tell you what, even if you don't like the Surfshark, you're going to need a VPN of some description, I'll tell you that much. And Surfshark are the best. Etiquette. Right? Etiquette. This is what really... I'm absolutely dumbfounded about this stuff with David Moyes. I'm really surprised. I don't know if I ever really gave too much thought as to whether Sean Dyche and David Moyes got along. But David Moyes was completely affronted by the fact that someone else might be linked to his job. However, you go back far enough, when Slaven Bilic was still in work, David Moyes was sat in the studio with beIN Sports, with Andy Gray and Richard Keys, and they were discussing, so they were in the studio, it's basically like Sky Sports but not as good, right? So they sat in the studio and they sat around a desk, and Richard Keys says, and we understand Slaven Bilic is in big trouble. He's got something like he's got to win his next game at West Ham. I paraphrase, but it was something like that, or he could be in trouble. And then he turned around and he said, and we do understand that a certain someone, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, as he looked at David Moyes, a certain someone could be in for a job offer very soon. And then David Moyes said, "Oh, I couldn't possibly comment." Oh, honestly, right? I haven't done it exactly right. Okay, my little reenactment. I've probably made it a little bit more animated than it was, but I'm telling you, it sort of happened like that, right? So he was quite happy flashing his knickers at West Ham then, right? He's gone full twerk. Honestly, he has gone full twerk with Everton. My home, Goodison Park. On Everton, on the True Blue or Royal Blue podcast, whatever it's called, right? I don't know what he says. But you can imagine, right? I've not listened. I don't even think the podcast is out yet. Go and have a search for it by all means. I've got no problem with the people doing the podcast. Let me say that, right? I absolutely would. Make no mistake about it here, right? I'm not going to pretend to be holier than thou. If I could get David Moyes on Hammers Chat, I absolutely bloody would do. I absolutely would do. I don't blame them for doing it at all. You know, you do a video and the video would probably get 3 times as many views it would normally get. It'd earn you more money than you normally would. Why would you not do it, right? Brilliant. I don't blame them. I don't blame Everton fans for wanting Sean Dyche out, if that's what they want. I think for too long we had other fans telling us, as West Ham fans, why we should keep David Moyes. You look, as an outsider, you do look at Everton and you think, well, they've been a bit of a rough time of it, the fans. They've not been well represented, but I think a lot of that is ownership. I do think Sean Dyche did well, particularly bearing in mind they had a points deduction to keep them in the league, but I do understand they look crap this season, right? I understand it, right? So I would never tell Everton fans, oh, be careful what you wish for, because we got that ourselves. My only problem is with David Moyes and his cronies, because having been told that we have to do the decent thing as West Ham fans, right? Why isn't he doing the decent thing? Why can't he just not wait? Why has he got to do the full twerk? You know what it's going to be on the podcast. Oh, well, you know, I've always had a special affinity with Everton. I love my time at Everton. I love Goodison Park. Whatever, cut me open and I'll bleed blue. Probably be blood, actually. But, you know, all that stuff. It's going to be a full-on schmooze, which is strangely ironic, given the lack of schmooze we had sometimes. I just get annoyed by it. It's complete hypocrisy. It's complete double standards. It's complete contradiction. And I just think it's got some bare-faced cheek, quite frankly, to be doing that when another person's in a job, having demanded, him and his cronies, having demanded better than that when he was in a job. So I'll tell you what now. The likes of Sky Sports, the likes of Talk Sport did not like it. Paul Merson lost his mind. All right? And I don't mean that to be nasty. I don't mean that to belittle the troubles that Paul Merson's gone through. As soon as I said it, well, you know, that don't sound great. I'm not talking about that. I mean, in terms of him being defensive of David Moyes, even Jeff Stelling even admitted it recently. Basically, Jeff Stelling got called out on Talk Sport, saying, have you got beef with West Ham fans? And he turns around and said, no, I quite like West Ham fans. I just think David Moyes was poorly treated. I think David Moyes deserved better. Again, I paraphrase, but it was something like that. Everyone was at it. So what I expect now, if everyone's even-handed, I expect them to come out now in condemnation of David Moyes. And get basically for him to get the same treatment that us lot got, that West Ham got. It's not going to happen because he's a Talk Sport, he's a Sky Sports, he's just a favourite. He's an absolute favourite of them. And I just find it hypocritical behaviour on everyone's part. On everyone's part. Honestly. Not the Everton fans, I think I made that point, right? But on Moyes' part, Moyes' cronies' part, and all the media. They chew, their moral compass, they're the ones that set the moral compass, right? Their moral compass is in a complete state of flux. They set the moral compass. But it's negotiable, isn't it? It's movable. The moral compass is movable. So when West Ham do it, it's not acceptable. It's disgusting. Sneaky weasels. All that type of stuff. When David Moyes does it, probably leave it stay. Good old Dave, innit? Don't mention it.